make them care. You want your audience to engage. If they engage, they're going to learn, and they're going to remember what it is they learned. They will engage once they invest emotionally. To get them to invest emotionally, they need to perceive something they care about. Your job is to link your presentation to something that they care about. Link to something they care about. Then they will invest emotionally, and then they will engage. How do you go about that? Well, let's see. For instance, let's take a look at this young woman who presented to an audience probably made up of academic folks, but supposedly, in the context of the contest she was in, a group of people who were from the general public. Now, she's got a dry topic, and she makes it interesting. You be the judge. Her research finding was that water fleas cannot tolerate much rise in salinity in their environment. The reason we care is that her findings mean that global warming will kill our lakes. Take a look at another entry into the 3MT contest, this time from a student from the University of Waterloo. Take a look. If you are like me, then you cringe at the idea of a scalpel, anything sharp near your eyes, drawing blood. Why is anybody going to care about whether a given drug is effective at softening the lens of the eye? Well, I care because here's a chance of keeping scalpels away from my eyes. You better believe I'm going to listen. Now, as a third example, I want to take a look at what a woman from University of Toronto presented, and she's talking about, well, I'll let her explain. Her research finding: hypoxia-activated prodrugs can increase chemotherapy efficacy. Why should anybody care? Because conventional chemotherapy can fail. That's something the patient will want to know and consider when they're deciding whether they want to lose all their hair and suffer all that sickness. It's a judgment call when it comes to deciding how much of your presentation you will devote to linking to what the audience cares about. If the concept that you're talking about is very familiar to the audience, then you may have very little work to do. Mr. Gajon 1 did perhaps only 10%. Well, he could rely on human sensitivity about eyes, scalpels, and blood to do a lot of the work for him. On the other hand, if the concept and/or its consequences are not very obvious, then you may have your work cut out for you as a presenter. Ms. Sagar spends very little time on her findings. In fact, she deals with them merely in one sentence at the end of the speech. Instead, she spends the bulk of her time educating the audience and preparing them to appreciate why her findings matter. When it comes to forging your link to what the audience cares about, I think this example illustrates an unusually large allocation of time. I think it's appropriate in this case. I think Ms. Sagar made a good choice. However, in the majority of cases, I think you will and should spend much less of your time in link forging. Ms. Elver-Safi didn't even have to say the words global warming. She could count on her audience recognizing that they applied. And they would recognize that all the urgency and all the importance that they associated with global warming applied to what she was saying. Whether establishing an emotional link requires a lot of your time or only a little of it, do it. If they don't care what you are saying, then nothing you are saying will matter. Remember, you want them to care because you want them to pay attention. The way that they're going to care is if you link to something that they care about. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a great day. This is Mark Trout.